right. So Matt was kind enough to join me. Chris is being poked and prodded and every other thing. They have this annual physical thing that most companies do in Japan. So you got to go through a battery of tests. So that's not fun. You walk around in a hospital gown from station to station, and people just stick things in you and pull stuff out of you, and then you get this this kind of standardized sheet that's like not like for doctors to read, it's for patients to read. So it's got like smiley faces when your blood pressure is under control and when your blood sugar is good, and yeah, so it's very funny, but yeah, very very common. They're all about that, and I think that would be like what's that?
I would say don't the companies like get fined or something if their workers are out of shape or something?
Well,
weird like that?
they're allowed to. If you're overweight, they're allowed to like give you a certain amount of time to lose the weight or fire you. Yeah, because you're going to have extra. You're going to lose work. You're going to have be extra expense for the insurance plan and everything. Yeah, they're allowed to do that. They're allowed to discriminate based on health and body size and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's very 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 different and very proactive with all kinds of health stuff. Like everyone finds stuff really early, but then you got to make those decisions what to do about it. Wait and see, or go through the agony just to be sure. To be sure, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, very different. And so my little bit of experience with it has really made me realize I don't think this kind of thing would work well in the U.S. because
No.
there's just no way to keep people on track and like thinking of the greater good or the the group as opposed to the individual. It would be really hard to get that done, but
Oh yeah, it would just become another political talking point. They're trying to control us.
yeah, right. And there's no money in fixing the system. There's only money in, getting funded by insurance companies for your campaign. So many of America's problems, political problems. There's no. Let's not do this. But I'm just saying, there's no incentive. Yeah. The cure. There's no money in the cure. There's only money in the therapy, the treatment. Yeah. Anyhow, moving on. So what have you been up to? Yeah. I've heard Will is working on his own system. You played a little IRL, had a session with...
Yeah, Will's always working on his own system.
Nice.
I give about 1 to 2 more sessions before he just scraps it all and starts over again. But.
I see. So what does he usually favor? In the things that he's... Or just kind of inspired by what's current or what's popular? Like, has he done D20s and then 2D6 and like what's his does he have any biases?
No, he honestly, for his own systems, he never uses D20s.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in fact, I think mostly it's 6s, but maybe he did 10-sided before.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, there's been so many Will games. Will's thing is he hates like randomness, so he tries to cave it all down into as little few rolls as possible.
Right.
So it's cool. My we made characters. Well, this is our 3rd session, so we all made characters set theoretically in the 60s, and so I made a guy who did 3 tours as a long range reconnaissance patrol guy in Vietnam. Who got exposed to a lot of bad chemicals and then got taken in by the CIA and I always forget. Usually Clarion has to remember the name of it. Was it Majestic?
Like the MK Ultra kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, MK Ultra. Thank you. Yeah. So they like just pumped him full of drugs for a long time, and then he became part of their remote viewing project. Will told us to just do whatever we wanted, so that's where I went. And then we got a guy who's kind of a buckaroo banzai because he's a doctor, a veterinarian, a scientist, and just all this stuff. And then Andre it made a Cold War spy guy, kind of cool, like a spook.
Nice.
Yeah, and the whole idea was recruited by this MK Ultra, thank you, Clarion. Yeah, I don't know why I can't remember. I don't know why I can't remember that. Anyway,
And they've,
recruited by a secret government agency
mhm.
because there's apparently these portals all around the world that everyone's keeping hush hush,
Mhm.
and they know you can go through them, but no one can ever come back, and they haven't been able to send anything through that can like send back a signal or
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm.
And so they got us basically as guinea pigs, throw us through, and they're in a super rush because apparently somehow they picked up a Soviet radio communication from the other side of the portal.
Oh,
So they sent us through in like the 60s, the big 60s astronaut spacesuits.
Mhm.
And we showed up on the other side completely naked, hairless, with no fingernails or anything. And we were in a cave under like an estate in some weird medieval world. And the estate was like in some extreme northern climate, and it belongs to this family of like kind of like semi-banished sorcerers who use blood magic and do bad things. And literally, like, I popped out first because I was a recon guy, so I was like, I'll go first. And I popped out, and immediately the dude's like trying to stab me and sacrifice me. And then the next guy pops out and starts struggling with the other guy. And then Andre pops out and literally like emerges inside the guy, so like blows him up from the
Ooh,
inside.
uh-huh.
Because it wasn't like a portal. Like, he kept calling it a portal. It's not really a portal because it's more like you get zapped from one place to another, but not like you're going through like a visible portal
Mhm.
thing, you
Mhm.
know? Anyway, so it was a silly couple sessions of scrambling around for clothes and deciding what we are going to do. And the last session, though, we had stolen a cart from these people and gone to the nearest town,
Mhm.
and we knew they'd be coming after us, so we set up an ambush in these woods on the road outside of town. And because our guy was a Vietnam veteran, he dug a punji steak pit,
Yeah.
which almost worked, except all the people that showed up were like these blood sorcerer people. So like one of them was like projecting himself as this weird blood slime thing, and
Uh-huh.
this other one summoned this weird giant mosquito thing that was like sticking us and sucking our blood.
Nice, nice.
It was fun.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
sounds like
see
fun.
how the hell we're gonna get anywhere because we still don't know anything about the world. But
Right. Oh, that sounds fun though. Yeah. Good
no.
stuff. Cool. And we got some more Call of Cthulhu coming up. So yeah, maybe we
Yeah.
can extend this through Halloween and have a
Oh yeah, that'd
spooky
be cool.
Halloween session. Nice. Yeah, yeah. So it should be fun. Yeah, it's interesting the kind of escalation of the starter set adventures. I think they did a nice job. Because they even include a solo adventure for the keeper to play to learn the rules. Kind of Tunnels and Trolls style, and then 3 adventures for a more and more sophisticated group. So yeah, this will be fun. Hopefully, our schedules will keep us keep us together for a few weeks in a row. That'll be good.
Is the final one like really long? Because for whatever reason, Cassian's really good at making super long
Yeah,
adventures.
I think the last one is it's not quite like, yeah, they're really crazy, kind of epic campaigns. It's not quite that long, but the cool thing is it's New Orleans, and like Terry just kind of
That
randomly
is
said I'm from New Orleans. I'm like, awesome, that's gonna be perfect. Yeah,
that is cool.
yeah. So yeah, should be good. All right. Well, good to see everybody in the chat. Nice. And GGS, nice. Clarion Abyss, and and I got something in the mail came. So this giant, look at this giant rule book for Warzone Eternal. It's like a pamphlet. It's a tiny little like what is that called? I'm always thinking it's like A5 size, but the half letter size book, but it's full color. And yeah, so I didn't get any of the miniatures because I've got so much metal. Warzone.
Yeah.
But yeah, Res Nova did finally get everything shipped, and I think we were kind of last on the list, so everyone's been painting their stuff and everything online. But we will see. We will see what those rules look like, and they were nice enough too to give the PDF as soon as they started fulfilling. Everybody got access to the full PDF, which has
Nice.
stats and everything in it. So it's nice. They have cards, but they're not. Maybe future releases you won't have the stats for those models, but everything that's included in this original run, the stats are in the rule book, and the stats are downloadable digitally, so you're not stuck, kind of Fantasy Flight style. You have to buy this model if you want these stats. Yeah, you got to buy the box. So they're cool about that. So we may give that rule set a try. I'm really curious about how it works, and we've got enough minis to make that possible. And yeah. So and one more thing. So the printer's been going, and we've been printing some of the War Machine's digital assets. And look at this. This is half of a castle tower that was part of their terrain. So they're doing releases similar to what Mantic is doing, releases that match their physical box releases. So they, when they're doing the different factions, they'll have terrain themed around it, bases themed around it, and then a sculpt, like a really wild kind of insanely detailed, kind of crazy looking sculpt of one of the main casters or hero characters or whatever. But the quality is great. I mean, they're really doing some good stuff. There's so many each month. There's so many releases, and they're very thematic with everything. So by after a year, you're going to have an insane amount of like thematic scatter terrain and everything for all of the different factions. But some prints really nice. So that's been fun.
Now that's seems like a lot of material. Like, was that would you consider that expensive to
No,
print
it's
yourself?
actually it's probably about $10, I would say, because the slicing software does the estimate for you. Like it estimates how many grams. It's in grams, even though it's a liquid. They do it in grams, but it tells you how many grams, and then you can put in the price of your resin, and it'll tell you how much that is. And the resin prices are actually kind of reasonable in Japan. They're not, you can get some pretty affordable stuff. So yeah, that's so printed. That's about $10 worth of material. So close to to the whole thing. I don't have the top finished yet, but the whole thing. So it's not too bad. It's not. I'm just doing the regular photo resin, so it's not the ABS like or anything. That stuff gets a little more expensive, but this is just the kind of standard resin. But yeah, the price wasn't bad at all. I was kind of worried about that, like printing some big stuff. Of course, the minis don't use very much resin at all, but this had a lot of supports. The one thing that didn't turn out great that they also included was they did kind of snow-covered pine trees, and the supports, because they're just everything has to have insane supports because it's just a bunch of branches, coming off of a trunk, and it was so much material. It was probably almost 1.5 times, like 150% more material than the actual model that you were getting just to support the whole thing. And it was really hard to free from the supports. I should have heated it up to like kind of make things let go a little bit easier, because some of the branches came off and some of the little kind of details. So I had to reattach some stuff. But those, and once I had them done, it's like, I could have probably made these from scratch easier, with some wire and some silicone, some clay, some of that synthetic clay. So that wasn't really worth it. But a lot of their scatter terrain and stuff is really cool. They do, really nice thematic stuff. But yeah, I put the trees on there because they fit on the build plate along with one of the pieces I was doing. And then after I printed them, I'm like, oh, this was so dumb. Trees are not something 3D printers do.
In that our last session in Will's game, because he knew we were going to have a big fight, so he made this kind of battle board thing. I put a picture of it on the Discord, actually.
Oh, cool.
He took like these 1-inch thick, like 2x2 foam boards, and he stacked like 3 on top of each other and then like glued them together or whatever, so that he cut into it like 3 levels of terrain, basically.
Nice.
And then he blocked it so it looked like snow, and then he got all these like pine tree, like fir tree looking models from like a craft store or
Oh
something
yeah,
that he
yeah, yeah,
just
like
set
the
up.
yeah.
He set up all over it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
And then of course, we ended up just fighting on one little end of the thing, which was hilarious. But
Right. Yeah,
it
that's
was still cool.
right. That's the crazy thing when you have a gorgeous piece of terrain. It's like, can you guys just move over here? I mean, it would be so much better if you guys were like, just go over
Yeah.
here. Yeah, to be able to enjoy the whole the whole thing. Yeah, I think about that too with people that get obsessed with like Dwarven Forge and everything and having all this stuff like ready to go and laid out for, dungeon crawls and stuff. And the guys take the east branching passage and it's like, oh yeah, so you're gonna ignore all that. Great. I took forever painting that and setting that up, and you're never even gonna see it. Yeah, that pre-made stuff is fun. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Sometimes I think just the old school, your erasable mat that you roll out, and use like a wet erase marker on is like for just regular role play is just probably easier and
Oh yeah.
quicker.
Yeah, that's always gone the best, I think, in any sessions that I've played in, is like, instead of worried about having a lot of stuff prepared, is just draw as you go, and it's revealed, because then you don't have to do, because if you have a pre-printed map or whatever, then you're not having to cover stuff up with black paper or do kind of fog of war stuff. Yeah, it's a lot easier to just okay, and there, and then here, and then here. Yes. All right. Okay, so let's get started for this week. See how it's going. All right. Welcome to the weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Matt.
Hey, Matt.
Hello.
So Chris is busy this week, but we thought we would continue on. So this week on the weekly, OnePageRules has got a starter set on crowdfunding. Trench Crusade has got some mercenary minis, so people continue to develop for the game. Epic Warpath is up for pre-order, and Household RPG is bringing everything back that they've produced, including the 5e versions. So another huge Kickstarter for anybody that missed it. So let's start with the OnePageRules. So this is interesting. These guys have had a Patreon forever. They've been producing STLs that are, space commandos. They changed the name of all of the, there's no Tyranids, no Space Marines, no Chaos, but it's all, it's all pretty much a simplified rule set for playing Grimdark Future, 40K. So they've produced, kind of similar look, similar feel, and initially their rules, I think when they first produced the rule set, it was use your 40K minis, and we're just changing the name of it, and it's a simplified, fast to the table, fast to play rule set for this game. And if you don't like chasing the meta and chasing the rules updates and everything with Games Workshop. But now finally they're going to do plastic in a box. It's not going to be STLs. So the Grimdark Future Broken Truth 2-player battle box from OnePageRules is now on crowdfunding. So they produced 28mm Sci-Fi miniatures in plastic. So these are going to be on sprue. As far as I didn't see anything that called it Sciocast or anything. So I think there's going to be minis on sprue. So the Saurian Starhost, which look like space lizards, right? And the Robot Legions, which look look familiar. They don't look like Terminators, but they are a robotic legion. So the base starter set will give you a couple of core units plus a character, so you can get started with the rules. And the rules have been I think this is just going to be the free rule set that's been available. They'll put it in a nicer book form, a quick start guide, a bunch of cardstock terrain, 70 tokens, 20 dice, and a 34 by 34 paper battle map are all included in this first kind of core set. So you can set it up on a coffee table, any place, and try out the rule set and run the miniatures. And they go, there's a few different tiers, and they go all the way up to or pledge levels, and they go all up to an all-in big collector's pledge, which will have a bunch of extra miniatures and additional accessories. So for the lizard men, the kind of additional extras aside from the troops will be like an Ankylosaurus. There'll be Spider Walker. I think for the robots. 10 geckos with daggers, 10 robot guardians, and war scythes. So that's everything that they produced for this. So it's probably like a similar to maybe 2 months of a Patreon release, but these are going to be all on plastic for you. So the extra miniatures. And also the extra accessories. So the extra accessories that are in the all-in collector's pledge are going to be 20 premium resin dice themed for the Saurian Starhost, 20 premium resin dice for the Robot Legions, 6 metal objective markers, advanced rules, and a world book, the special kind of collector's edition, a 6x4 neoprene mat, so that's pretty huge, 20 more acrylic dice, 20 for the Saurians, 20 more acrylic dice for the robots, 20 black OnePageRules acrylic dice. So you're going to have a lot of themed dice. Wound dice and spell dice, cards, a dice tower, and some more extra terrain because you've got a bigger battle map now. And a lot of this stuff is going to be probably not the collector's versions of things, but everything will be available as add-ons too. So you can go with like a basic set and then just add on the dice or the things that you really want to see. So yeah, they're going to break it down into the core units and then reinforcements. So the hobbyist pledge is going to give you basically the main box and most of the minis. The digital pledge will let you get PDFs and STLs of everything released. So similar, if you were following them on Patreon, similar to that. Starter pledge is the core box. That's $100. The master pledge will give you the 77 miniatures in total and the full terrain for $180. Collectors all in will set you back about almost $500. And so you may as well go for the retailer pledge because that one you get like 5 of everything because that's only $575. All right, but the shipping looks like it's going to be a little rough. And then they've got add-ons for everything. You can do multiple starter boxes. Oh yeah, and even the collector's editions of all the books and things are available. So if you've already been playing OnePageRules and just would like some of their themed accessories, and if you maybe have some of these, you just want the models as STLs, you can hang in there a little bit. But this is interesting. Do you think they're kind of stepping too far? Do you think it would have been wiser for them to just kind of remain, because they're different enough? I think they're legally distinct so that Games Workshop doesn't get their lawyer machine going, but they are like now going to be directly competing. If they're going to be releasing boxes with factions in it, they're going to be directly competing depending on how they get to retail with Games Workshop. Do you think it would be better to do a little more low profile and just do rules light?
Yeah, I mean, that would be my first reaction, but I wonder, do they say why they decided to go with producing their own minis and stuff?
Yeah, no, there wasn't really like, you've asked for it, we're doing it. I think they just had enough success, and probably with their Patreon, they've got to have a lot of money to work with, because they've been doing these releases forever. So they've been one of the more active, I think, first rule sets and then doing STLs for quite a while. So they maybe they just got to the point where, okay, we basically have done everything that Games Workshop has done plus more, like we did space lizards instead of fantasy lizards and stuff. So maybe they've done enough digitally. They're like, okay, let's just put this out here as a physical product and see. It doesn't seem like the timing is great though. This seems to be with tariffs and shipping and materials. It seems like, and difficulties in China. This seems like one of the worst times to try out manufacturing. So I'm not sure. They had zero,
especially such a large scale of printing.
Yeah.
I get why they went with these two factions. I'm looking at the Gamefound page because they do look very legally distinct.
Right. Yeah. They really do.
Like the Saurians don't look anything like a 40K stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The robots, maybe see a little bit of Necron in there, but not much. And I was looking at their actual company website. They have other factions that are way more look like 40K stuff. Like they have one that just straight up looks like the what are they called? I wanted to say Zerg, but that's the wrong game. The Tyranids?
Yeah,
the Tyranids.
Tyranids. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's originally what they produced. Kind of they went even lighter than Mantic, because Mantic tried to say, "Oh, you're not going to give us space rats? Well, we'll do space rats. Oh, you're not going to do space dwarves? Well, we'll do space dwarves." Mantic was like doing the factions in the setting that Games Workshop wasn't going to do because of lore or whatever. So they were doing that, and OnePageRules did it even more simply. It's expensive to buy all the rule books. It's expensive to keep up with 40K. Here's a simple rule set on one piece of paper. Although I think it's OnePageRules, I think, is a misnomer now. I think it's like 4 pages or a half a dozen pages now. It's getting to be very far past one page. But it was rules to play with models you already have, which is what they originally did. And then when they started doing the STL releases and the Patreon, they started doing the legally distinct factions and playing around with that. So yeah, it's like, it's weird because it's the game, but probably without the setting. Like they're releasing a world book, but do you really want to have like the store brand grimdark fantasy lore? We already have really good grimdark lore, the great value Necron and the I don't know. It's that's a hard thing, because I think Mantic is even having trouble with that, because they keep getting people to write stories for their settings and stuff, but their settings are just so RC cola compared to what's already out there from Games Workshop, and they've already had so much of a head start too. They've been doing lore since the late 80s, so and hired some of the best writers in genre fiction to do it. So yeah, so we'll see. This is a curious move, and it may just be they want to legitimize themselves. It may just be we're not taken seriously. We've only been digital. We've been this like light alternative. We've been poor hammer, to Games Workshop's Warhammer. So let's show them how much money we've been making this whole time. Yeah, so interesting. All right.
Yeah, I'll be curious to check on it. 6 months, year down the line, and see if there's still people talking about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. I don't know if the timing is great, but they probably have the bucks, because they've been they've got some faithful subscribers. I think Chris was a subscriber for quite a while to OnePageRules. So more things to print. All right. And speaking of things to print, there are still there's more support from different companies for Trench Crusade. So Trench Crusade started out as kind of playtest beta rules, and they did an early experiment where they released some resin miniatures based on the illustration of the I'm blanking on his name, but the illustrator that did the setting basically came up with the setting, and they had a sculptor do digital versions. So kind of as a test, they have a full range now. They did a Kickstarter with a full range of, I think it's resin, and then also digital. So My Mini Factory has the whole range of the Trench Crusade miniatures up there. They had we were promoting the digital Frontier for a while, where you could get everything that they had done for like a couple $100, which is pretty good, but it's still for what people are used to paying for digital, it was still a little pricey. But now Wargames Atlantic is partnering with another, what is it? A Wargamer, I think it's Wargamer Dave. Yes, MiniWarGaming Dave from that channel is doing some designs for Missionaries. So a kind of an expansion for Trench Crusade. So a lot of early Trench Crusade, just kind of like Turnip 28 and a lot of the other skirmish games, it was all about just kit bashing and making up your own, buying military miniatures and kit bashing them and things. And so that was the spirit. So I think they don't mind other people coming up with their vision or their version of some of these miniatures. There's another company working on. I downloaded a Butcher Knight for one of the Demon factions. I'm not sure if it's a totally new faction for Trench Crusade, but there's more stuff coming out to expand the setting. So 32 millimeter plastic miniatures. So these will be produced by Wargamers Atlantic, so they'll be on sprue miniatures, but I'm sure they'll be digital as well, because they have a digital platform. So the Trench Missionaries, faith-driven warriors. These are proxies for New Antioch, and the design of them is Mormon-inspired. So they're kind of early. And if you watched the what was
Did you say Mormon-inspired?
Yes. So kind of like 19th century Mormon-inspired in their dress and everything. So pretty vicious.
Oh.
What was the there was a really good Primeval, the Western with the massacre where the Mormons played. Yeah, the
Oh,
Mormons
yeah,
played a pretty major
yeah,
role, and you could see like they're trying to
yeah.
hold control of Utah. So yeah, you got a different view of the Mormon faith back in the 1800s. Yes, so these are
Oh,
Mormon-inspired
I
miniatures.
I can tell you some stories. My family has journals from the family traveling the Oregon Trail,
Oh, uh-huh.
and the Mormons ripping them off.
Mm.
But anyway,
Anyway, we'll do a special stream, a special stream for that. All right. So the miniatures that are being produced are a trench bishop, a high priest, a patriarch, a trench warden, trench deacon, a trench missionary, and a sentinel. I think the sentinel's a larger, what kind of a larger armored piece. So this is Dave Norquist from MiniWarGaming, and the sculpts are done by Thu Duong. Duong's sorry about the pronunciation, and yeah, they're staying pretty close to the original aesthetic of the illustrations and the theming of it, but just giving you some more alternatives for stuff to add to your faction. Yes. And so it's nice that we're actually seeing third parties doing plastic support. That was one of the comments under this release, this press release, is it's great that's not just people doing STL, just throwing STLs out there, but they're actually like, plastic miniatures that you can use to support. And I think that's the interesting thing is Trench Crusade isn't going to be so strict with allowing a lot of people to kipash and contribute. Everyone's forces are going to look distinct and interesting. You're going to be able to have a lot of variation. There's not just, this is the way you paint them, and this is these are their colors, and this is how, there's more creativity. And I think that's other companies and other systems are not allowing that as much anymore. So it's nice to see, games that are, trying to include as much inspiration as possible. All right. And to complete the trifecta of Wargame talk this week, heavy on the Wargames, the pre-order is open for Epic Warpath. So you may remember, I don't think we streamed it. We did a couple of playtest games, didn't file many reports, so weren't included as playtesters for the for Epic Warpath. But we did play some of this 10 millimeter sci-fi scale battle game from Mantic. So Mantic is producing a starter set. So they've already fulfilled the Kickstarter. So we've gotten everything. So Chris has some space elves, I have some space dwarves, and they're going to beat the crap out of each other soon. But they are releasing a starter set, and as well as the core army pack. So basically, the core army packs was what was available on the Kickstarter. When they fulfilled it, the retail packaging wasn't completed yet, so they used their picked by goblins, like generic boxes for all of the factions. But we have 3 factions: dwarves, elves, and plague, basically to mess around with. And if you add the enforcers, then that is the 4 core armies that were included in the Kickstarter. Some more were unlocked, but I think they're still in development. I'm not sure if they've been completed in their designs yet. And they did for the reinforcements and extended units, they did STLs as well as I think it was resin or some other kind of you can get physical miniatures. But this starter box is the Battle for Frovox. And it's going to include a core army forces, and it's quite a bit of miniatures because they're 10 millimeter scale for enforcers and plague. So it's going to be the enforcers, mankind's elite soldiers, not space marines, and the horrifying alien plague, both vying for control of Frovox. So the thing that's going to be included in the starter set, which you wouldn't get if you just bought the individual forces, are going to be things like the rule book, the tokens, and all of the and some default terrain. They did a whole set of their 10 millimeter scale kind of modular terrain in plastic on plastic sprues. So everybody got a few of those sprues if you were part of the physical Kickstarter, just included. So yeah, this you're going to get 190. I mean, that does mean, this, but 190 enforcers and 250 plague miniatures in the starter set. rule book tokens, and of course I think like a campaign book for the more thematic setting. Oh, and also an anthology of like I was talking about, an anthology of fiction called the Frovok Enigma. So a range of stories from the Warpath universe to kind of give you some theming. So this is going to be, epic scale. So if you've played Dead Zone, which is skirmish, or Firefight, which is closer to their 40K scale, this is going to be, epic, massive scale. So it's played on 4x6. I think this may start out a little smaller, but yeah, you because it's a lot of bases, you're playing on a 4 foot by 6 foot table, so standard size. You're not saving any space with this, but you're getting a huge amount of units and commanders and stuff. It changes the strategy and the scale of everything. So also in release are the core army packs. So the enforcers are getting core army packs. So the elite council of 7, the plague are getting the an army box. The alien bioweapons, the forge fathers, and their superior ancient civilization are getting a box, as well as the Asterian, which are their space elves, their Eldar. So a once huge empire that dominated space, now a dwindling echo of their former selves. So sounds very familiar. They're also doing a terrain pack, like the 10 millimeter, very, very modular terrain that they did, as well as buildings pack. So kind of you can make it more an urban war zone instead of like, factories or base kind of stuff. And heck yeah, compared to other 2-player sets that we've been seeing or seeing some of these releases, it's about half the price of the epic scale Games Workshop stuff. I think Mantic has always kind of done that. They've tried to keep their stuff. It's like, okay, it's not Games Workshop, it's not Warhammer, but it's half the price. So many minis and so cheap. So $160 for a 2-player set is pretty good, as opposed to the numbers, the stuff we've been seeing Games Workshop release for their new editions. So yeah, so that'll be some games you'll be seeing on the channel. I've already seen the color scheme for Chris's stuff, and I got to get my stuff going. I brought all the paints into the office. I'm going to get started on my dwarves, and we'll probably do like 1,000 points. We'll just start out with a small 1,000-point fight and see how it goes.
Yeah, these look pretty cool. I'm such a lazy painter that I'm like 10 millimeter is like just big enough that you feel compelled to put a little more detail on them. It seems, than like the 6 millimeter ones. That's funny.
Yeah, that's true. And I think like the contrast paints and the different styles of paints that kind of separate and give you highlights and shadows work really well with the small scale. So you're not like trying to paint eyes and stuff on 10 millimeter. Yeah, and some really, it's fun to see all, because these are all recognizable from the Warpath, setting. All of these units are recognizable, so it's fun to see them at that tiny size. And they did the large, the huge, epic, giant scale war machines and beasts are funny because they're so tiny, but they have they start to feel like they're 28 millimeter because they're getting really large, but they're actually like these, titanic units on the table. And they did a really nice.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, they did a nice job with the rules, because they already had the factions and the play styles for the factions, and so for this epic kind of switch to this more strategic epic scale, they did a nice job of transitioning the theming and the play style of the factions. What were you gonna say?
I was just looking at the pictures of the starter set figures, and the only complaint I would have is I would say that the vehicles, especially the human or whatever these space marine analogs are, they're pretty generic looking.
I think
they're not very creative.
Right. They didn't treat, I think, the enforcers. I think in the lore, the enforcers are kind of this, this base, this like foundation of the setting in the lore. But yeah, for the look and feel of them, they just look like generic space cops. Yeah, they really don't have. Yeah. They're not chunky and frightening, or they just look like powered armored police. And so that takes away, if that's your kind of foundation setting, if that's your Imperials, it's like it doesn't inspire. I do really like the Plague faction feels a lot to me like Mutant Chronicles. Like it feels a lot like the
Mm.
Necromutants, and and I like that it's similar to orcs in 40k. They're corrupt. They take over. Once they beat somebody in their vehicle, they just corrupt the vehicle and they use it. They make it into a plague weapon. So you've got their walkers and the tanks and the artillery from different factions that they've just taken over.
Yeah, their mechs are very orky looking, very 40k orky
Yeah,
looking.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
some of their soldiers actually look like Imperial Guardsmen. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. But it's fun. Yeah, it's a fun variation. I don't know much about the setting for it because it's not really inspiring. And they did need to do the thing that Games Workshop did and hire some like really high caliber writers to try to like flesh out the setting. And I don't think they really did. I think this is just it always feels like both fantasy and the sci-fi settings for romantic still feel like pet projects. It's just like something they did in their spare time, and they had some inspiration. They don't push it very far or very hard. It just stays, even it's a little bit above OnePageRules, of course, in their setting, but not a heck of a lot. It's not. I still think like the stuff that Warlord Games does as far as like setting and stuff is much more distinctive. So if Warlord Games is Pepsi, Mantic is RC Cola.
Yeah.
But I get
Not Shasta.
yeah, right. Yeah, not even Shasta or the what do the Juggalos drink? What are the
Oh, I don't know.
insane clown posse? Not Fago. Yeah, it's not even Fago. They're
Oh, the Fago.
all right. Well, let's continue talking about things that are not Warhammer 40k. The last thing I want to talk about is, and this was surprising because they have not fulfilled the second volume of Household yet. But Two Little Mice are back at the crowdfunding, and they're producing. And so maybe there was they got enough feedback because they really have good communication with their community. And so maybe they were getting enough people that felt that they missed out and they wanted some of the super cool stuff that was produced for the crowdfunders. So now Two Little Mice are back with a Household 1 and 2 collection. So this is basically everything they've produced for Household since they converted it to English and started to do a really really nice kind of, large scale release for a very premium release. So 100 years have passed since the master left his house, and now the little folk have returned to claim the household. So strong boggarts in the hearth, refined fairies from the garden, ingenious sprites on the upper floor, and the daring slough of the horde down in the basement have finally reached an agreement and given way to a fragile peace. So you're basically playing the little folk of European folklore. And littlelings are what you. And yeah, we that's right. We created characters for this. We did a one shot session.
Will and I made characters.
Yeah. So this is something, and they have gorgeous. I think it's Alchemy has gorgeous gorgeous modules for this. So yeah, we definitely we'll play a digital version of this and see how it plays, because it's very similar to Outgunned, the 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind D6 systems. And so this is everything back to the table. And I know I've shown this off before, and there's an unboxing video of this, but this is the volume 1. It's just a gigantic, gorgeous, like it's got end paper illustration, and then this is actually a slip case. So there's all your books right there. I mean, really, really premium, but they do come at a premium price. If you wanted to get into everything that they produced so far for Household, it's quite a purchase, and it's heavy as hell. So it's going to be interesting to ship, but it's beautiful. I mean, the illustrator is just amazing, and she's done a lot of a really, really nice job with this. Initially the theming, I was like, am I ever going to really be able to play this? And during the unboxing, I kind of mentioned that like this might be something I can trick my daughter into playing with me, and there was a lot of offense taken to that, because they're like, yes, it's a fantasy RPG, it's just as, it can do everything that you're expecting a fantasy RPG to do. Don't put it down just because it's, teacups are sailing ships or whatever. But but they're producing everything again, and some of the basic books have been available still, but probably not in the slip cases and not with all the miniatures, the DM screens, all the custom dice and stuff. So Household Volume 1 and 2, along with the setting books, the Saga of the Fragile Peace, the Practical Guide of Living in the House, and then Saga of the Long Winter for Volume 2, which is kind of a garden expansion. So the first one, for Volume 1, is all the settings in the house. The second one is the Volume 2 is the roof and the garden, so more into the wilds and more into the fae and fairy character setting. But all of this has also been produced as Adventures in the Household, which is the 5e conversion, 5e adaptation. The art is different. I mean, they reuse a lot of the same art, but the books themselves have a different design and layout. And so familiar mechanics, but you get to play in the setting of Household. And then they produced a lot of dice, narrator screens, all themed to either the garden or the household. Several sets of dice, a lot of decks of cards, because they have aces. I think aces are kind of your inspiration, or your inspiration points or whatever. You keep track of those with cards, and then you have coins. There's custom coins as well, and they also did a dice scroll to hold all your custom dice. So a faux leather dice scroll they did for the Volume 2 garden session. This was included in the last Kickstarter. It's available again as well. The Art of Household. So a landscape format art book featuring all high quality prints of all of the beautiful art for Volumes 1 and 2. And all of this art is done by the lead artist, or most of this art. The lead artist for Two Little Mice, Daniela Giobellini, who did Outgunned. She did the Inferno work, and also Household. And her style is just beautiful. I hope she's well compensated, because she is. They work her hard, but beautiful stuff.
Yeah, they do.
And the fun thing about it too is there's a couple of they play with scale a little bit in the set. So the map of the house, there's this print and it shows all the areas of the household itself. And if you turn it over, it's printed on a candy wrapper. Like somebody wrote a map on a candy wrapper. So the scale of the map is a prop basically that would be the littling's size. So you turn over and the logo for the candy that the wrapper came off of. And then the miniatures themselves. So they produced a whole line of miniatures. I think there's up to 70 miniatures now. So plastic miniatures of the littlings, all the kind of named characters in the setting. And that's the scale. So I think it's 32 millimeter. Yeah, 32 millimeter. That's the scale, the actual 1-to-1 scale of your characters. So miniatures on the table is going to be very evocative. Like you can put a tin can and a book down next to it. And it's oh yeah, that's exactly, yeah. It puts you right at the correct scale and helps your mind understand how big a cat is, how big a spider is, because you're 32 millimeters. Yeah. So I like that they did that. That's very fun and makes the physical stuff, more playful and more enjoyable. So the other thing that's being produced for this campaign exclusively are 6 limited prints of Daniela's best illustrations, or her favorite illustrations. So they're 30 by 40 centimeters. So is that a little bit bigger than 8 by 10? Yeah, 10 by 17, something like that. And not framed, but high quality prints. So the decorator pledge level will get you a single print, and then you can add on. And they've been unlocking more of this artwork. So any of the really gorgeous, double page kind of large illustrations that you've seen in the book, I think those are mostly what's coming up for as prints. So the Fate of the House, the Battle of Quillwaters, Nemeth, and of the Eternal Circle, which is the very gorgeous fairy painting, the Fall of Feriev, and Starchild, and Leaders of Household, which I believe is the cover of the main rule book, are all illustrations that are available as prints. And they just recently unlocked the Battle of Frostwing, which is a giant snow owl fighting a fairy. So really nice stuff. And if you enjoy the setting, and so they're really, it's nice to see them celebrating the artwork, to get other ways to enjoy, not just in the game books, but other ways to enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing fulfillment of Volume 2 soon, because now there's going to be even more orders for Volume 2 that they need to fulfill.
I'm getting a little worried about all these companies that are just going full steam ahead with all their little add-ons and stuff for their Kickstarters. Yeah, even though they know there's all this tariff turmoil.
Right. And there's so many things that can go wrong. And I don't think they're terribly late. Yeah, so there's a week left on this collection. The collection campaign. Let me take a look at the other campaigns that they've. So yeah, adventures. So the volume 2. So this campaign, the volume 2 ended April of last year. Yeah, ended in early April. So yeah, they're not very late. They're still probably pretty close to on schedule for fulfillment for that. For what they speculated, I think they gave themselves like a year or so. But to go back and then do stuff again, but maybe the timing was just necessary because they're already producing stuff for Household and 5e, Household Volume 2 and 5e, so maybe it just worked out. Let's see if we can get some more orders and we can get a better price because we're going to do 10,000 books instead of 7,000 books. Who knows? But yeah. So, and interesting that they also, I think they want as many people to be able to play it in this setting as possible, and so they spent the time to do a 5e conversion. That was really, very, very interesting. Oh yeah, so here's the shipping update for Volume 2 is talking about... Oh, come on. Yeah, so it looks like we're a bit away... sorry, my updates are not coming up. Yeah, so I think they're. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to be juggling this many plates because they still also have the Outgun Superhero that they're producing, and they went back to the. They did another expansion book for their Black Plague, their Black Death kind of setting as well. So they've got a lot of stuff in production right now. So yeah. I hope it goes okay. I hope they don't hit any hiccups because we've already seen, even companies like Free League have been. I think they've had some delays with both their replicant setting for Blade Runner has been a bit delayed. They were late with some Forbidden Land stuff. So yeah, it's not easy. Not easy to keep. Keep it all going. But
$413 for the big one. Wow.
Yeah, that's actually
a lot of money.
Yeah, that's actually that's you're not getting any discount, and then plus the shipping on that's probably close to $100. So yeah, it's a big box because it's just a lot of like really heavy stuff. So it's two large volumes with all of the the book slipcover and then the box of extras. Both of my shipping were pretty dear, and I think it was like it was $150 for each, so that's not too bad within everything included, kind of all in. I think all in was close to $200, but beautiful stuff, yeah. So we'll see, and it's hard, and that's the difficult thing. So I think Outgunned is close to that too. Yeah. Like to get everything all in on Outgunned, you're close to $150, but that's like smaller books too. You're dealing with a much smaller physical products. But but really, I like these guys. I like the stuff they do. We gotta try some Household. Try the system and the setting out and see how that plays. But that's going to do it for this week.
It was fun making those characters.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, I thought you guys did, and you kind of dug into it and like were thinking about like how this is going to work and how it was going to go. So yeah, we'll extend from there. We'll see if we can at least try some of the early adventures before things fall apart and you're at war again. Before the fragile peace is broken, we'll see if we can get some stuff done. All right, so that's going to do it. So, Matt, where can people find you?
I am on Blue Sky and Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's at Hargold, HARGALD. Nice. The climate here in the States is such that you probably don't want to go there if you don't want to see some some political discourse. I'm just warning you right now. Yeah. It's really crowding out my game time, and I hate it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's true. All right.
How about you?
And yeah. So I will. I got to get back to the drawing board for next week and get some more abuse cartoons. So I do a single panel gag cartoon called Domestic Abuse. You can watch the live stream of me drawing that on Abuse Cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. abusecartoons.com is the website. And then if you want to read the archive of 20 years of this cartoon, gocomics.com/domestic abuse. And yeah, everything is up there in all of its digital glory. But if you like what we're doing here with the weekly, you can consider becoming a weekling. That is one of our supporter tiers on Patreon. So patreon.com/upturnedtable. And still open. I'll close it probably the end of September, but celebrating our 300 something episode, you can still get 3 months free of a weekling tier support by signing up for free on the Patreon and then clicking on the link to upgrade yourself to a weekling tier, and that'll give you access to the Discord, the RSS feed, and all the good stuff that's on Patreon. So patreon.com/upturnedtable, upturnedtable on all social media, and upturnedtable.com is the website. So that's going to do it for this week. We'll be back tomorrow with some more Call of Cthulhu, and we will see you then. Thanks, Matt, for co-hosting, and we'll be back again soon. Goodbye.
Bye.
right, and we're back, and I'm reclining behind the monitor here. But so Matt's with me, and also Abyss from the Discord. Hey guys. So
Hey.
let's
Hoi,
talk
hoi.
some Alien Earth. I think that's something that the Discord has been full of. So yeah, where are you guys at with your love or hate or confusion for the series?
I'm really enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, I mean, it's not perfect, but overall, it's been a really fun watch.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I agree.
it's already better than Romulus. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah. It is literally the best thing since Alien 2.
Oh,
Absolutely.
interesting. Yeah. Interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'd go that far. Yeah.
I'm having trouble. Like I didn't dig the last season of Fargo very well. I don't like it. Kind of didn't
The John
result.
Hamm one?
Yeah. I was not.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like it didn't. It kind of like kind of went off track a little bit when she went to that colony of
Uh,
crafty women and stuff. Like, what is going on? Like we're like missing. There was just some stuff that got a little bit distracting, and so for me, Alien Earth, it's suffering from a little bit of that streaming, the structure that they do with streaming series now. Where they we had an episode where they went back on the ship before it crashed and told that story, and kind of jumping around and kind of like giving you stuff out of order. And I'm not sure that it's effective, or it's doing what it should be doing. I wanted to see that story, but they could have told that first. And were they just worried they needed to get to the kids faster? So
I think they're trying to use it as like to develop characters and things. Like I think Abyss and I are probably on the same page as what are we calling her right now? We're calling her Iris. Is that what we're calling her?
I am not. I'm not sure because I like the name Steve because
The-
or Jerry from
yeah.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah,
But she is way yeah.
the eyeball critter is probably my favorite character, and you got to know her a little, I guess, if that doesn't sound weird in that episode. And
yeah.
I also like that episode because it felt like it was a movie, like it was a self-contained little movie when they went back to the
Yes.
back in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it was absolutely gorgeous. It was a really gorgeous episode. Just to see the the alien aesthetic that they had in the original movie. All the little shiny lights in the computer room, at near the ending, and how they're typing. Did you see the keyboard? They didn't have like real letters on the keyboard at all, and I thought maybe is there like a method to like how they're doing, or is it just like is she just typing in whatever? I thought things like that were like really interesting to think about. Like how would they actually functionally use their technology? And everything was so creative because the guy who made it, like the entire art style. If you've seen Legion, then you get it because there are scenes where characters like a scene fades out. And you still see the face of the character, and then it fades into another scene, and they share the same things into one scene to the other, and then it vanishes. He did that a lot with Legion too. It's very dreamlike, and I really love that he took that and put that into Alien because it needed something new. The entire genre, because it was just Predator this, Ripley that. Queens lay eggs and face huggers and whatever. No, these characters have so much more depth. Because a lot of people hate that, like the actors playing the children. I think it's brilliant because children are psychotic. They miss like the reasoning skills. They don't understand things, and you can see them slowly like developing in such drastic different directions. I think it's beautiful.
and no black goo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank God. Oh, this is a safe space for Prometheus hating, right? Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and also too, just so everybody knows, we're probably going to be spoiling up to episode 7. So yeah, the final episode is out next week, and we'll probably be spoiling everything up to that.
We can get Jeremy's opinion now. what do you think Kirsch's deal is? Do you think he's somehow kind of like, is it like a fistful of dollars playing both sides kind of thing, or he's just like, I can't tell what's going on with him.
Yeah, no, it is hard to tell. And the yeah, so in the last episode where he kind of showed his hand, it's like, yeah, I've been watching everything you're doing. I know what's going on. Go down to the beach, guys. You know, go ahead and take him down there. So, but it's hard to understand. I think they're making a few like strange. They're confusing a little bit of the rules and stuff. So the all the hybrids have trackers, and the one guy turned off the trackers, but can't they still see through their eyes and hear everything they're hearing? Like, can't Kurt? Is that just Kirsch's role? Because that's why I think he let them go down to the beach, is so he can find out what Wayland Yutani, you know, how they're getting on the island, what their approach is, so then they could surprise them. That they could jump them when they made their way, you know, into the into the building. But that was, yeah, it's not quite clear. Okay, so now they don't know where anybody is, but can he still monitor what's going on? And some of the things that happened, like with the laboratory going bizarre, you know, the aliens escaping in the laboratory, Kirsch was watching that, right, on the tablet the whole time.
That was like episode 6, I think. Was like, and that really tripped me out. It was like he watched the whole thing, and then he was literally in the room with what's his name, little kid Prodigy, and he didn't say anything.
Right. Yeah. And there was
something... wait. Can I ask something?
Oh, sure.
How far are we going to spoilers like this with chat and stuff and people watching this?
We can.
So I know what actually like besides the spoil.
Yeah, we warned them to 7. So yeah, we can. Yeah, go ahead, and everything up to what we haven't seen in 8. Yeah, everything but the.
Okay. Yeah, because Matt knows my take on Kirsch, because I think he because he's a computer, and he lacks the humanity, and he's trying to teach these children that they are better than everyone else. Because he thinks he is better than everyone else. He is the sociopath, but a very highly calculated sociopath. And he didn't. I don't think he's trying to figure out. He already knows what they're going to do, because humans are like these simple little monkeys running around. And even though for how smart Boy Cavalier is, Boy Cavalier is still fallible because he's still a human, and he has his core desires for what he wants. He just wants to talk to someone, to his equal, even though he has constant equals around him like Kirsch. But Kirsch is a computer, so Kirsch is like beneath Boy Cavalier. And on the other hand, Kirsch is a god compared to Boy Cavalier. And so that's why, for all the things that happened, Kirsch already could calculate what they were going to do, and that's why he expected it. There were for sake of spoilers, I'm going to bring it up, but there was this one scene that happened that I didn't expect. I'm like, how cosmically did the stars align for this one thing to get caught? You know, and then they have them.
The baby xenomorph.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. I'm like, okay, how? But okay, we know for plot.
Yeah, that was kind of. What?
Yeah, but they have cameras everywhere on the island. Like every square centimeter, they have cameras. But that is a big island, a very, very big island.
I will tell you though that like I've been pretty happy with like the effects and the alien modeling and everything, and it's not really their fault. But when it's in that really small young form. I can't help but think of the one from Spaceballs. You know, the one that bursts out of the guy's chest and does a little song and dance number.
Right, yeah.
Like there's just no way for them to make that look super cool.
Right. The one thing, and now I think it's just like with the whole alien setting now that's confusing me, is like, how are we supposed to understand what the average person in this world thinks about as first contact with alien life? because they'd had those throwaway lines in Aliens where they were like, oh yeah, we hooked up with these aliens, we had sex with the space marine, the Marines, or colonial Marines are talking about hooking up with these aliens and not knowing which one was male or female or whatever. With it was like they had a throwaway thing like that. So humans are already interacting socially with the aliens on some weird level, but then all of these specimens are being brought back to Earth. Like, does the public know about this? Like, what does the average person know about what is out there and what humans have experienced? It's getting, because from the original Alien movie, we think, he had a concealed agenda. So we don't know how much Weyland-Yutani knew, what they were telling him to do, or if this was a total surprise. But now with the whole setting, I'm kind of questioning, well, what do people even know? Is it shocking and horrifying? Or are they like, oh yeah, we keep finding these things every day?
Well, I mean, I don't remember that line from Aliens, to be honest with you. I remember the bug hunt line, which seemed to suggest there were some kind of aliens that they knew about that they kill.
Right.
But that feels like the kind of line that would probably just get retconned. They'd just be like, "Oh, that was a James Cameron thing. We'll forget about that."
Yeah, very throwaway. Yeah.
But also because they're really building up this corporate dominated dystopian world. It's probably a lot of it is social, like your social status and your need to know. There's probably millions, if not billions, of people working in shit jobs for corporations that just don't get exposed to that information.
Right. Yeah, it's not like it's going to be on television or whatever, whatever their mass communication is. Yeah. And that might be interesting to play. I think the comics have messed around a little bit with that too, is how kind of rural, farming colonies or whatever, how these people respond to interacting with the xenomorphs, because one of the Dark Horse comics, I think they form a religion, like they start to worship, these things as gods, and they form a religion around these.
But how can you not, right?
Yeah.
Like these are like supreme beings in their own right. They're like they're perfection. They are literally unkillable once they start spreading. They're like cockroaches, but they are super deadly. They use whatever living creature they can find and multiply by that. That's terrifying. They can I don't believe they need air. They don't need oxygen to survive. Right? If we go by Romulus's aspect, they could also survive in space. Right? Did the thing in Romulus, the one that they found from the first movie, did that survive and then eventually they split it open and killed it? Or I actually don't know how they got the face huggers from that. Do you guys know?
Yeah, well, they at least had the genetic material. Yeah, I don't know if they just cloned it or if it actually was alive. I can't remember the scene because I remember the scene of cutting it open. Yeah.
In Romulus, they had the stupid urn of black goo, didn't they?
Is that what they took from it?
They made that. They synthesized that, though. I think that was the yeah. So that makes it a little bit confusing. So what did David do, and then what did the space station?
Yeah, I know. I think they threw that out the. I think they threw that all out the window with this show.
Yeah,
they have to. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because how do you explain the engineer, right?
Right.
Yeah, I just pretend that stuff is like rumor and gossip and not
rumor
real.
Control.
Yeah. Every time I think of those movies, it just baffles me because David literally obliterated their entire species, and yet they found an alien in the first Alien movie from the engineer and all the eggs. So how did the engineer get there when David already eradicated them? But then he took them on the spaceship. It does nothing makes sense. It doesn't make sense. I give up.
Yeah.
I have two tiny nitpicks from episode 7. They're not important at all, but they're just those little things that get you sometimes. One was when Golden Boy shows pie to the eye monster.
Oh.
And it's like, well, he wouldn't know your symbology, so this doesn't work to begin with.
Yeah. The only way they could explain that is if they if she could consume the information from the brain from the being that she controlled, because she has been in a human before.
That's
right?
true. Okay, all right.
right,
Yeah, I
right.
get.
That would be the only way to explain
Yeah.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
But how does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If it absorbs things from the creatures it enslaves or whatever, that would make sense.
So who was Boy Cavalier referencing then in that scene episode? Who is he want that the eye alien?
I could. There are only two guesses. It's going to be either Dame, that's psychiatrist, or it's going to be the brother. Yeah, because he's stupid, right?
The brother's what came to my mind because he's already super disrespectful of that kid. So
right.
I don't even think he comes on the radar. No.
So, what do you guys think? Prodigy will survive this first season, or is it going to be like apocalypse for that island?
No, it's absolutely. Well, sorry.
Oh no, I was just noticing you typed in the chat that it's an 8-episode season. I didn't know that. I thought it was a 10-episode season.
Yeah, we got one more.
So that makes things way different time frame than what I was thinking.
Yeah.
So now you have an outbreak on the island, and the Yutani strike team has been thwarted. So why? I feel like they would probably nuke the island, but I don't know.
Yeah, but still, that wouldn't eradicate them. They're in a bunker. They're deep within. They would have to
These are future nukes. These are future nukes.
Yeah, but then you have to think about the planets. What about they're surrounded by oceans? So you create a tidal wave, a tsunami, and it just wipes out everything around it. What about the spaceship? Those little bloodsucker insects that were still in the machines. They didn't capture them. Right. They're still in that spaceship.
Oh man, those little bloatfly things are pretty nasty.
Oh yeah. That they what did they say? I can't say the English word, but they regurgitate outside, and then they
digest on the outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what flies do, right? Don't they kind of barf on things?
At least the remake of
the Fly movie did that, right?
Yeah. He was thrown up on his diner food.
Oh shit.
Okay, here's my other nitpicky thing, and this is totally just from playing role-playing games and stuff. The Yutani strike team, right, comes out of the water all cool and badass, takes off their weird, cool rebreather mask things, and they just throw them away.
Oh yeah.
and I'm like, you're gonna have to leave, right? I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I guess they're expecting to fly off the island.
The director, okay?
The director is like, that looks cool, and they just throw it away, and it was like, but that's stupid.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what their extraction plan was. Or was it suicide mission? That can be possible too. I have no idea. Like the whole point of them is just killing everything, leave no trace.
I feel like,
but they can't, right? Because then it would break out the corporate war.
Right.
Never mind.
I feel like they'd want to rely on stealth, like a suicide mission for corporate mercenaries. I don't know if I buy that too much.
I saw that people online had a big problem with the surrounding scene when they came back. And he's like, "Come over here, kids. You have a what's it called? The word for your punishment? Go to your room."
Oh yeah, you're grounded.
Oh, you're grounded.
Yeah. And then they're all surrounded. A lot of people had issues with it looks so comical. Like, where were they hiding from? How did they? How did they come out of the woodworks?
Yeah. Well, they did that in 2 scenes then, because then at the boat dock they did the same thing, where just a bunch of soldiers suddenly pop up and
like what? Yeah, where the fuck did they come from? They literally, there's only water. None of them were wet. So, I have a question. Okay, no, it goes back to your Prodigy thing. You can't, because I think they can't just kill Prodigy outright, because Prodigy controls entire continent. It's not just an island. There's a humongous city and shit.
Right.
I cannot imagine them killing all the good characters that they made. Like Kirsch, Boy Cavalier, half of the children. If they wanted, I think they knew they had a hit on their hands. That would be, Who do you think is going to die? That's my question.
I feel like the alien thing would be that Golden Boy would get trapped somewhere with one of those aliens. Like, I feel like that's what would happen in an alien movie, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, okay, here's another question. Do you think that the eyeball actually kills its hosts? Because we haven't confirmed that either, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
No, we haven't. But you figure it is probably drilling those tentacles into their brain, right?
Yeah, pretty invasive. Yeah, that's right. Because we didn't see what happened to the engineer on the ship that had it, and we'll see when it comes out of the sheep what happens.
Yeah, when they put it in a person, well, that'll be interesting if it actually talks.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I like the bipedal sheep. Like as soon as it went to the sheep, it stood up on its hind legs. That was disturbing. A disturbing image. Yeah,
that's a neat addition to the alien lore because it kind of feels more sentient and in control of itself than the xenomorphs do. You know. Which is a new layer for the show or the world.
You just want to play a character with one big eyeball that has like this insane intelligence, Matt.
Well, that'll be like the next thing is like when those things just become incorporated into the world and they just walk around with their little slave people that they control.
Right. Yeah.
We have one more reveal to go. And Matt knows exactly what I'm talking about. Well, what exactly I'm talking about, right? Because there's one left. The one that's been like looming. Yeah, one more left in the box. They have two of them, I believe, right? The green one, the hanging plant.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the weird plant thing. Yeah.
Because that thing, I have to believe that might actually be the most terrifying one yet. I hope it's like terrifying as the xenomorph itself. I really do.
Right.
And this is why I keep going back to they're going to nuke the island is because unless they're going to totally disrupt the alien timeline, there can't be like an outbreak of all these aliens on Earth before Alien happens, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we never. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because Ripley has to explain what the xenomorph is to everybody every movie. So it's not until the fourth movie that it's just like, we know that these things exist and we're researching them, we're breeding them,
the other monsters can basically already live on our ecosystem without disrupting humanity, right? Maybe the plant thing, the bloodsuckers. The bloodsucker egg thing that could basically wipe out the entire human race. Unless they like create some like BS reason that it would be only in a small area, because they would let's say they could eat each other or whatever, eat other animals.
Or they develop like a bio weapon to use against it or something.
Right.
Yeah, because we already have plenty of killer species on our planet, right? Look at Australia.
Australia is one big. Everything in Australia wants to kill you.
Yeah, they have snakes that kill you within like 30 minutes, and with venom so powerful. They, spiders, reptiles, jellyfish. Yeah, exactly.
So do you think that, because they made reference to Romulus when Free League was crowdfunding their new edition of the Alien, it was probably, they had to do something different to extend the license, so that they can include Romulus. Do you think that was also to get Alien Earth, any of that in there? Or do you think that's, So I wonder if any of that's going to start popping up. Yeah.
I hope so, because what they're doing with this is a real boon for that game. Because not every time you play it does it need to be like a xenomorph thing or a black goo thing.
Oh, it's Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, guess who's the android amongst us that's going to betray us again? For the 10th time.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
With a
So
secret
boring.
agenda.
So boring.
Do you think
Yeah.
the cyborg guy is gonna die next episode?
He doesn't actually have a reason to really live other just doing his job, but he is a great character and he's a great actor.
And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but I think showing his daughter, I think that means he may die because that's what they always do is they give him like a really sympathetic backstory, his motivation. You understand, him and feel sympathy, and okay, then his death will mean something. It'll be very painful.
Mm.
I don't know.
You know what would be a cruel death for him? That Kirsch would put him in a synthetic body.
Yeah.
Because Kirsch and him had a back and forth, I think that'd be brilliant. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's your favorite characters? Do you guys have like a favorite? Or two?
Besides Iris,
Yeah.
the cyborg guy is cool. Kirsch is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that scene with them in the elevator. I was like, oh, please do a showdown. Please do a showdown. If Kirsch like puts on a Stetson and they like, draw, if they Raylan Givens draw at the end of episode 8 on each other, I'd love that.
Yeah.
I guess I have to say I like the Boy Wonder because he's managed to make me kind of hate him. So that's good.
Mhm.
That's a good job,
Oh, so they did. So they did do the Joffrey with you. Oh, that's brilliant. I'm happy. I'm happy. Yeah, I like how because he's exactly what the children are, but he's stuck, and those children can evolve past that because he's like a psychotic little kid that who's in his mid-30s, and just everything is just a toy and a plaything just to achieve his goal.
Right.
What's it called? Justifies the means. The ends justify the means for him.
Yeah.
The old guy's gonna have his right hand dude is gonna have a horrific death.
That guy's such a dick. He's
Is
gonna
that-
get it.
Dude, I don't know if somebody was making a joke, but is that Vivian from The Young Ones, that actor?
Dude, it looks Adrian Edmondson. He looks so much like that guy.
Yeah.
But I don't
That's a
think
joke.
that's who
okay.
it
Yeah,
is.
that was somebody that was just making a joke because I was like, yeah, because he was
He
in
totally looks like him.
he was in one of the Star Wars movies, right? He played like an Imperial officer in one of the sequel trilogy movies. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Did he?
Yeah. He was in.
He looks evil, so I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Oh wait, no. It
What?
is him.
It is him. Yep, it is.
Holy crap! That's insane. Wow, he really toned it down.
Yeah.
To
Oh
play
yeah.
that guy.
Wait, what movie are you guys talking about?
So there's this old British sitcom from the early '80s. It was only on what 2 seasons,
yeah.
2 seasons,
Like 12.
called The
episodes.
Young Ones, and it was just this crazy over the top punk rock ethic kind of show about these college students living together. And the guy that plays that evil henchman guy, the older guy, was this crazy ass metalhead dude that lived in the house.
Oh, that's with the punk dude.
Yeah.
I know the show.
Yeah.
Oh, he's to do with the orange hair.
Yep.
Yeah, an Iron Maiden jacket. Yeah,
Holy crap,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
That's great.
that's funny because it occurred to me. I was like, he looks like him. But I was like, there's no way that's him because he's playing it so like toned down to what he usually does.
Oh yeah. Very reserved.
That's
yeah.
wild.
Oh man.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a cameo.
Yeah,
from Neil.
I watched the show when I was a teenager because they do like the English show reruns over here,
Yeah.
like the Black Adder and stuff like that on public TV.
No,
Yeah, that's how I know him. Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
That's
I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm really frustrated though. I think there's not going to be enough resolution. One more episode, I don't think they're going to be able to resolve this story. They want to lead to a second season, but unless they already know that they're greenlit, that's really a frustrating way to write it. I like that's the thing. At least the Fargo seasons, like it ends. There's a conclusion. It resolves. So I wish they would okay, this is going to be the Prodigy season where we're going to tell the story of Prodigy's failed attempt and their hubris, and then move on to kind of another part of the world. But I don't know. What do you think, You think it's gonna?
I feel like they have to have like kind of a shift to a more Utani focus, but so maybe they'll wrap up Prodigy, but leave enough hanging that then you get into this whole Utani political thing. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just gonna say now that you realize that there's just 8 episodes, my hatred for episode 6 is now justified. Just saying. Just saying. I feel that now. You know why it feels like a filler. I'm just saying because they knew they were. I have to assume they knew that the new season was coming, especially because it feels like they wasted time just to have like special moments.
Yeah.
But so many more things could have happened because some episodes they like the episode this week, it felt like it went by like holy crap, it just went by quickly. It was 40 minutes of just stuff just happening. It was all good for me. It was all good. I think next season they're going to focus on her being, because I said this I think in episode 2 or 3 when the moment when she could start talking with the eggs and the baby. I already knew that they were going to make her the Brood Queen from StarCraft 2. She's going to be the alien queen that can control an entire hive, because that's clearly what's happening, right? I believe that's what's going to happen. Otherwise, they're going to have to kill her.
It seems like we're going that direction.
Yeah. The redhead girl.
Yeah.
She's clearly
crazy.
Yeah, she's going to go on a killing spree. She's going to go on a mega killing spree.
Oh, so you don't think she's like just fried?
Oh no. They're gonna. Yeah, she's worth too much.
And I think there was like smoke. There was like smoke coming off her, and like the way Wendy was acting, they really made it feel like he killed her.
Yeah.
Listen, Ripley put together a head, okay, and got it functioning again.
That's right.
That's true.
and she got a drowned, cut in half thingy working again. So I'm assuming they get, with all the technology, that they can repair it.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do with Kirsch. Because he's going to be a big part of their budget if he gets rehired.
Kirsch is really cool. I hope he continues on.
Yeah, I wonder if there's just going to be a big Weyland Yutani play at the end. They're just going to lay siege to the island. Just take the island somehow, and it's like, whoever's not with them is.
Okay, here's what FX boss John Landgraf said. He said, "We're pretty bullish on Alien Earth, and we've told him, Noah Hawley, we want him to focus on at least writing 2 seasons of it before returning to Fargo."
Oh no!
Sounds like it got green.
Oh, interesting.
Sounds like it got greenlit for another season.
Yeah, at least another.
But now, but that means that your Fargo, you said, that had a finishing ending. They didn't have a finishing ending because they're going right back in. Yeah,
yeah. If they've already planned for 2 seasons, I don't think they're going to resolve anything too satisfactory. We'll see.
I think they might. I mean, those guys write some pretty smart storylines. I think they might resolve, 60-70% of it.
Okay, here's a question. Well, how much of it is really Scott going to throw out the window when he makes a new Alien movie?
Somebody stop him.
To really
please.
solidify the black goo.
Yeah, right.
So that problem is literally between him and Father Time. Like, it's like, will Ridley Scott live long enough to fuck this up?
Right.
It's basically.
Oh man. Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm sorry. I should laugh. Not even pulls a Clint Eastwood. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Jeez, yeah. Keeps directing in his 90s.
90-year-old director.
Yeah.
He's almost 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's got enough time to ruin Blade Runner even more. And
Okay, that's one I'm scared about. I hope the Amazon one
Oh, that's right. Oh, jeez.
doesn't get the Wheel of Time
Yes.
ring bullshit treatment at all. You know.
Yeah. Yikes! That is scary. All right. Well, let's take this discussion over to the Discord and wrap things up. I'm running out of fuel here.
Run out of steam.
Yeah,
Sorry for the all alien post credits discussion.
Right. So
it is. Good time.
Yeah, we should probably do a live stream though. After the final episode has aired, let's do a live stream and kind of just do a discussion. You know, kind of like go through characters.
Yeah,
and
like a look back.
Yeah. And see what
that's a good idea.
Yeah, and see what like kind of inspiration that might be for the role playing game. Like, see if there's got to be some more fun, you know, aspects of that world then that are opened up by this show to role play. So let's give that a shot. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. And Call of Cthulhu is coming at you the same time tomorrow. And yeah, we'll be back again soon. Thanks Abyss for jumping into the discussion, and thanks again Matt for co-hosting. So see you next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.